Super High Five carryover in race 2. Great wagering opportunity. They're in the gate, and they're off. And Quintessence sprints up to take the early lead. Shadow Creek is up close in the early going, and Noble Gary in between rivals. Here's Hard Times in the center of the course, and Hard Times is now vying for the lead as Noble Gary is up to take command. So Noble Gary leads by the stands the first time. Hard Times a length and a half back second. Quintessence settles under a hold in third, and then Shadow Creek fourth. Crypto Man in the purple colors is next, and Player B is 5 lengths off the pace as they move into the first turn, and it's Noble Gary hugging the rail and leading by a length and a half. Hard Times is in second. Then Quintessence down at the rail in third, still under a nice hold, and Shadow Creek races fourth, 3 lengths off the lead. Crypto Man second to last. Player B trails. They straighten up for the run down the backstretch, and the lead belongs to Noble Gary, who's been there throughout, in front by a length over Hard Times in second. Quintessence, Shadow Creek right together, and Crypto Man biding his time in fifth, has about 5 to make up with less than a half mile to travel. Player B is at the back of the field. Into the far turn, Noble Gary has been there every step of the way. Hard Times second. At the rail, Quintessence 2 off the pace in third, then Shadow Creek fourth, Crypto Man fifth, only 3 lengths off the lead, angling off the rail now, looking for a spot, and Player B is just outside of him. They have a quarter of a mile to go, and Noble Gary's just in front. Shadow Creek on the outside. Wider than that is Player B. Behind them, Crypto Man looking for a spot will angle out late down at the rail. Quintessence, they're in the final furlong. Shadow Creek, Player B, and on the outside, Crypto Man is coming. Does he have enough time? Crypto Man lengthening stride, but he is out of time. And Shadow Creek won it by a head. Player B and Crypto Man behind them, Quintessence. And one Smoking Moon. In the gate. And they're off. One Smoking Moon is going to the front. Come Join the Band has sharp speed. These two match strides through the opening furlong, and they're joined by Elton Sings Another, who was not quick at all out of the gate, but is now right up and on the pace with Come Join the Band. Those two head and head, with One Smoking Moon a length and a half back in third. They are followed by Rosie Ann Rules clearly into fourth, Smiling Amy, Chevy Girl second to last, and Just Is trails 3/8 of a mile from home. And they're heads apart on the front end. It's Elton Sings Another and Come Join the Band. A length back to One Smoking Moon, 3 deep in third, a gap of 5 to the next flight. Smiling Amy on the inside of Rosie Ann Rules. They turn for home. Elton Sings Another on the inside, and Come Join the Band. Elton Sings Another has a half-length advantage. Center of the track, One Smoking Moon and Rosie Ann Rules between horses. Here's One Smoking Moon with that perfect trip up to Elton Sings Another. These two stride for stride coming for the wire, and in between Rosie Ann Rules, One Smoking Moon wins it. Rosie Ann Rules was second. Elton Sings Another, then Just Is and Chevy Girl. Tap will be the last two. We're in the gate. And they're off. And Boss Lady is pretty quick out of there. So too Tap on the outside. These two hook up with Corporal Violet racing in third, taken in hand. Down at the rail, Violet Storm is next. And Red Diamond is fifth and last. Down the back stretch, and it's Boss Lady leading the way by just ahead with Tap pressing second. 2 more Corporate Violet outside of Violet Storm, and another length and a half to Red Diamond. 3 lengths covers the field into the far turn, where Tap and Boss Lady are on even terms. Corporal Violet, Violet Storm, joined 3 wide by Red Diamond, who's 3.5 lengths off the pace, less than 3 furlongs to go. Avantap by a neck. At the rail, Boss Lady trying to keep pace. Corporal Violet is next, followed by Violet Storm, and Red Diamond floats wide, still 5 off the lead with an eighth of a mile to go. And Avantap and Boss Lady have been putting on quite a battle, and Boss Lady is not done. Coming back, wresting command away from Avantap, and Red Diamond is motoring late. Boss Lady holding on, and Boss Lady earned the victory. Red Diamond closed stoutly for second. Avantap was third. Many others. Each week, Yamava Resort and Casino, California's #1 entertainment destination, awards its Club Serrano members with cars, cash, and gifts. Join for free at yamava.com. That's why. And they're off. Rose Girl is hustled out for the early lead. Barbera on the outside comes away in second. Then it's Sugar 3 off the pace in third. And Hot Rod Mama with no early speed is already almost 10 lengths off the pace, being set by Rose Girl. And Rose Girl is sprinting at a quick tempo. Barbera second by 4. And then comes Sugar third. Another 4 lengths back to Hot Rod Mama. They're heading toward the 3/8 pole, with Rose Girl the target and Barbera moving in. And the Harris Barbera within a half length and gliding up alongside of Rose Girl. Those two about on even terms with a quarter of a mile to go. Hot Rod Mama is starting to pick it up on the outside of Sugar. They're at the top of the stretch, and it's Barbera on the outside and Rose Girl back to second. Hot Rod Mama is closing a bit with Sugar between horses. Final furlong, and Barbera opens up 3. Hot Rod Mama moves into second with big strides. Hot Rod Mama is lugging in. This is the issue. Can she straighten up? Hot Rod Mama or Barbera? Hot Rod Mama gets up. Barbera was second. Sugar third. Rose Girl fourth. You're in the gate. And they're off. Very awkward start for Christina's Candy. Princess Midnight is out very alertly, not much pace on in the opening furlong. Happy as a Clam is right up alongside in second. Vulin is up and on the pace. Port Ellen is down at the rail and nicely curved fifth in the early going, but fanned out 4 deep. Viewer's Discretion has moved up in between horses to be about 3 lengths off the pace. Then Christina's Candy second to last, and Mahina trails. Around the clubhouse turn, and it's Princess Midnight, the pacemaker. Left alone on the front end with a 2-length advantage. Happy as a Clam is racing in second. Then Port Ellen and Vulin with Viewer's Discretion in between those two, 3.5 or so off the leader. Nicely curved is next, Christina's Candy and Mahina. Less than a half mile to go. Princess Midnight 1.5 lengths to Happy as a Clam. Port Ellen rides the rail in third. Then it's Vulin racing in fourth, passed now by Viewer's Discretion into that 4th spot. Nicely curved, and Christina's Candy are 4 lengths off the lead, and Mahina has been at the back every step. It's Princess Midnight holding on to the lead. Port Ellen is trying to sneak through along the inside as the field turns for home. Princess Midnight, Port Ellen finds a seam now on the outside of them, Happy as a Clam. And here's Mahina, cut loose in the center of the course, has 3.5 to make up late. Princess Midnight, Port Ellen, and Mahina continues to fly home. Mahina from last to first under Umberto Rispoli runs him down. Princess Midnight was second, Port Ellen third, photo for fourth between Happy as a Clam and Viewer's Discretion. In the gate. And they're off. Satellite Heart, Misty Muppet both have speed. Beau Soleil on the outside is quicker than both and up to take the lead. Dreaming of Hope, fourth in the early going, 3 lengths off the pace, followed by Super Enticing and Dory Miller at the back of the field. It's Beau Soleil heading to the half-mile pole, leading by a half length. Satellite Heart now matching strides pretty easily. These two head-and-head now. 2 more lengths. Misty Muppet aggressively handled in third, and down at the rail, Dreaming of Hope is in fourth. They're followed by Dory Miller and Super Enticing, 7 lengths off the lead. Battle continues. Beau Soleil just a nose in front of Satellite Heart in second. Ayuso all over Misty Muppet trying to get to them in third. Another 4 back to Dory Miller, now a clear-cut fourth and gaining some momentum. They're followed by Dreaming of Hope and Super Enticing there at the top of the stretch. Beau Soleil, Satellite Heart, 2 more Misty Muppet in third. Another 4 back to Dory Miller. Misty Muppet comes to Satellite Heart. Satellite Heart, Misty Muppet. Satellite Heart just in front. Misty Muppet on the outside within a half length. Satellite Heart or Misty Muppet. Satellite Heart just digs in ferociously and turns away Misty Muppet. Photo for third between Super Enticing and Beau Soleil. Post time in 22 minutes. One more. They're in the gate. And they're off. Very even beginning. Here's Sumter coming through along the inside. See Through It comes away in second. They're followed by Turn on the Jets, just a length and a half off the lead. Unconquerable Keen between horses and Sharp as Attack. It's a very compact group that runs down the backstretch. Sumter a length over Unconquerable Keen in second. Then See Through It, Turn on the Jets at the fence, 2 lengths off the leader. Another 2 back to Sharp as Attack. Around the far turn, and it's Sumter, the one to catch. 3/4 of a length to Unconquerable Keen in second. Turn on the Jets, a very close third, and See Through It outside of him. Still another 3 or so back to Sharp as Attack. Top of the stretch, Sumter, Unconquerable Keen. Between them, Turn on the Jets trying to find a seam, and another length back to See Through It. Turn on the Jets now angles to the 3 path to come after the top pair. Final 16th, and Unconquerable Keen forges to the front under Joe Bravo to win it going away. Tight, very close for second. Either Sumter or Turn on the Jets, then See Through It. All set. And they're off. Brazen Boy is quick. On the inside, Private Gem with the red silks is now battling for command, and Fact or Fiction moves up in between to take the lead. So it's Fact or Fiction in front. Last Call Paul is up close. Mr. Big Buck's down inside. Now takes the second spot. Halo Uncle is down at the rail. Private Gem won from the fence. And on the outside of them comes Thirsty Love. It's another 2 back to Brazen Boy, and Mischievous Dylan is far back. 3 furlongs out, and it's Fact or Fiction with a 2-length cushion over Mr. Big Bucks. Last Call Paul is in third. Thirsty Love inches up outside of that pair. Fourth, Private Gem, Halo Uncle right together. Brazen Boy is next, still a distance to Mischievous Dylan. They turn for home, and Fact or Fiction kicks on, has a 3-length lead with a furlong left to go. Halo Uncle is starting to close resolutely along the inside. Coming through a narrow opening is Halo Uncle, right up to Fact or Fiction. Behind them, Private Gem finishing with interest too. Private Gem angles out, has to get to Halo Uncle. Halo Uncle, Private Gem with big strides. Photo finish, Private Gem and Halo Uncle. It's close between those two. Fact or Fiction. Behind them, Mr. Big Bucks, and Last Call Paul.
On a perfect day.
And they're off. Asada Fries bounces out pretty smoothly. Beautiful Janet has some early gas too. And they're followed by Ebox Dream Girl moving into contention. Cocktail Cutie is down at the rail. And look at her glide widest of all. OK Rose settles toward the back of the field on the inside of Kit's Katie. That pair about 6 lengths off the lead. Lady Lysum is second to last. And Wailea Sunset is at the back of the field. It's Asada Fries just in front, getting pressure from beautiful Janet, who's a little keen under a nice hold. Another 3 or 4 about to look at her glide in third. Cocktail Cutie is next, followed by Ebox Dream Girl, 5 lengths off the pace. Kit's Katie racing on the outside of OK Rose. Lady Lysum second to last, and Wailea Sunset continues to trail. They head past the half-mile pole, and it's Asada Fries pressed by beautiful Janet. Look at her glide, 2.5 off them in third. Down at the rail, Cocktail Cutie fourth, 3.5 off the pace. Ebox Dream Girl is next. Kit's Katie in the red colors between horses. OK Rose traveling right inside of her. Lady Lysum trying to inch up in the blue outside of that pair. And Wailea Sunset has been at the back every step of the way. They're a quarter of a mile from home, and it's a wide open race. Beautiful Janet on the outside, and Asada Fries back to second as the field turns for home. Look at her glide is next. Now Kit's Katie, who's in some traffic, lots of bumping going on, and Lady Lysum kicks it into high gear on the outside. Final furlong, Lady Lysum with big strides under Umberto Rispoli, who's going to get a triple on the afternoon. Lady Lysum pulls away to win it convincingly. Kit's Katie second, Asada Fries, OK Rose. Beautiful Janet was in a photo for fifth to complete the super high five.
Weather forecasters are like horse players. Some days they're right and some days they're wrong. Well, let's hope they're right this time because the 14-day future weather forecast is out. And do you know what it says for both Friday and Sunday? Breeders' Cup Championship days 1 and 2. 80 degrees without a cloud in the sky and 0% chance of participation. I should say precipitation. Easy for me to say, right, love? Anyway, I'm Tom Quigley. I'm your host for the next 35 minutes or so. A person always with a sunny disposition is Zoe Cadman. Zoe, thanks so much for joining me. Happy Saturday.
Well, thanks for playing weatherman. I did not know we were due for 80 degrees. I'm absolutely delighted because the last thing we want is 100 degrees scorching weather or rain.
Especially for you Europeans, right? You like it a little bit on the cool and damp side. It's somewhat moderate, right in the middle.
Exactly. Just absolutely perfect. 80, not too cool, not too hot. Just fabulous. You've made my day, actually.
Already, and it's only 11:55 in the morning here on the West Coast. Now, speaking of weather, sometimes good, sometimes bad, you spent the summer at Saratoga filming workouts for XPTV.com and, of course, watching the races in the afternoon. Many East Coast horses are coming out here to Southern California to participate in the Breeders' Cup. A few of them have shipped in early trying to get acclimated to the main track, including the Belmont and the Travers winner, Archangelo. Have you seen his works here in Santa Anita, and how do you compare them to his workouts that you saw leading up to the Travers at Saratoga?
I have seen them, and he's not hard to miss out there. He in Saratoga, he trained late every day. He was training at 9 o'clock here every day, but with the heat, he's been going at 8 the last few days. He looks about the same galloping. His works look a little bit different purely because of the fact that his exercise rider, Robert, is working him here, and Javier Castellano was literally the only person that worked him there. Jenna Antonucci, very, very happy with his last work. He was caught in 113 and change and finished up very nicely. I think he's actually grown a little bit. I went by the barn and saw him, and she said he's put on weight. And I thought maybe he looked a little light at first. And then I'm like, oh, my Lord, no, he's grown. He's by Arrogate, so you would expect him to keep growing. You know, these horses grow until they're 5 years old. So he will eventually be a very big horse. Jenna actually surprised me and says she measured him at the wither. He's 17-1.
Wow.
But he's got very high withers. So if you say 17-1 and you look at him, you're like, I'm not sure about that, but yes, she said he's measured 17-1, so he's doing great. Wider Barrios here for Mr. Dutrow. Emily Ellingwood, one of our jockeys here, she's delighted. She's getting on him every single day.
Great opportunity for Emily.
And working him as well, and I think he's sliding under the radar there, but he's been working very, very nicely indeed as well.
What about the European contingent? I know I'm putting you on the spot, and there were some big races today overseas, but of the European invaders coming in for the Breeders' Cup, is there maybe one that sticks in your mind that you're most looking forward to see run? Maybe not win, but at least see run?
I think we're going to have some 2-year-olds coming over for Aidan O'Brien. I'm not sure if Opera Singer is coming or not. She's a Justify filly that won the Prix Marcel Boussac. They had Champions Day in Europe today, and the horse that won
soft ground,
the Champions Stakes, King of Steel. Now, he looked like he hated the ground over there. Frankie Dettori, who thankfully will be coming back to Santa Anita this
won 2
winter.
today.
He won 2. He won the first and he won the last, and went out in a blaze of glory aboard King of Steel, who before the race said that he may come over for the Breeders' Cup. So if he does, that could bring the house down right here. I'm not sure. Kia Ammo Racing, who owns him, is he's pretty ambitious. So I know a lot of people will be pushing him to run in the Classic. I'm not sure if he'd go that far, even if he would come. But King of Steel and Frankie Dettori took down the Champion Stakes today.
You mentioned Frankie Dettori, Zoe, and we were blessed watching him ride here during the winter meet. And what a spectacle it was, because he's such a rock star. He's so talented. You're a former jockey. What makes Frankie so good? Is it his mind? Is it where he positions himself? Like, what is it about Frankie that makes him such an international superstar?
Hey, listen, it's his charisma. He's charismatic. He just has the it factor. You know, you might see the it factor in a movie star. He is horse racing's movie star, and we've not had one of those before Frankie, and we haven't had one after. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. We've got some very good riders here, but none with the panache and the flavor that Frankie brings. He's Italian. He's excitable. He's fun to watch. He's
energetic.
He's good. You know, we need to have another Frankie come along. I'm not sure we ever will. And I'm just delighted that he's going to ride out his final however long it is, 3 months, 3 years, right here at Santa Anita, at least to begin with.
Are the Europeans at a disadvantage coming to America, not so much because of the ship, but because of what are perceived as tight turns here at Santa Anita or other North American tracks compared to what they're used to running over in Europe?
Well, Euros will come to Santa Anita purely because they want fast ground. And John Gosden, if he puts a horse on a plane to come over here, you had better believe that he is bringing one that he knows will handle the tight turns and will handle the ground. Inspiral, she might come. We don't know if Musadov will come. He was scratched out of one of the Champion Stakes races today. I don't know. But whatever he puts on the plane to bring over here, they know what they're running on. And Aidan O'Brien, same case in point as well. When they come over, they mean business.
You know, I'm a field size snob, Zoe, and of course in the Breeders' Cup, we don't have to worry about that. But yesterday and today, we kind of do. But being a snob, sometimes you get surprised in what happened yesterday, and you were here to witness it. The $1 pick six paid $30,000. The 50-cent early pick four paid $11,000. And the 50-cent late pick five paid $4,800. So you can kind of be mesmerized by the small fields and kind of give up hope. But you just never know when you come to the racetrack what's going to happen. And it wasn't like there were a bunch of 60-1 shots winning. They were all middle of the road, 7 and 8s to 1s, and lo and behold, that's what happened. And I'm not saying it's going to happen again today, but you just never know. You can't make any assumptions when you walk through the gates of the racetrack.
Yesterday was a really hard card to handicap. Just when you thought you had it all right, I know Michelle was pulling out her hair. Oh my God, I can't pick a winner. It was tough to handicap. It really was. And it was the horses, maybe this one, maybe this one. You can't use them all. So, yeah, congratulations to everybody who hit yesterday, because that was not an easy sequence.
And today's not that easy either, but we do have the help of Zoe Cadman to try and figure out who those 9 winners are going to be. Before we get her opinion on those 9 races, we're going to toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the minimum amount of changes here on today's Saturday's card at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, where the track is fast and the turf course is firm. Here are the early changes. The first race starts the all-turf pick 3, which will be on races 1, 5, and 7. The rail on the turf is out 30 feet today, and there are no program changes. Race 2, number 2, Mendez mile 4 over, 6 mic operator, 2 pounds over. In the third race, no changes. In the fourth race, we'll start the pick 6 with no program changes. Race 5, scratch 7, City of Angels. In the 5th, scratch number 7, City of Angels. In the 6th, scratch number 1, Oh Great. Race 6, take out the 1. Just the blinker note in the 7th. The 8th is the Anokia Stakes. Just the blinker note in the Anokia. Keep in mind that with Golden Gate Fields back in action today, the Golden Hour Pick 4 returns. It starts with the 8th race. Golden Hour Double starts with race 9. We have the program scratch of 2, Midnight Love, and then a couple of overweights. Number 5, Tracker, will carry 1 pound over in the 9th. And number 9, Mischief Moments, 1 pound overweight. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Post time for the opener is in 58 minutes at 1 p.m. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner, where Tom's special guest today is our own Zoe Cadman. And if you happen to see our Senior Vice President and General Manager, Nate Newby, today, it wouldn't be bad to wish him a happy birthday.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Zoe Cadman. It's a pleasure to have her on air early. You see her work every day here on the simulcast feed. Zoe, before we take a look at today's 9 races, I want to talk to you about your attitude. Now, normally when someone says that to you, it's a negative thing, but it's actually a positive thing in your case, because even by your laugh right now, you somehow bring a positive attitude every single day when you come to the track. I don't know if that's something that you've learned over the course of years. You've been blessed to be born with that, but how do you kind of look through life, through rose-colored glasses and always try and find the positive in things?
Drink early and often. No, I'm kidding. Someone told me, a very smart man told me one day, never let them see you have a bad day. And that's just as simple. Nobody cares if you're having a bad day. How you doing? Oh my God, I'm having a no, I don't care. Just say you're good.
We're all having a bad day, right? We just don't want to show it.
Hey, life is good. We're here. The sun is shining. That's all you need to know.
Life is great, actually, right? We're so blessed. We come to the track. We get paid to come to the track. We work at the majestic Santa Anita Park.
Bring our dogs to work.
Off camera that you can't see. I mean, it's just right. We're blessed. And it's easy to have a good attitude. But, life sometimes throws a lot of, lemons your way, and you got to make lemonade out of it.
Oh, yeah.
What you do.
I don't really like lemonade, but I'll make something else.
Unless it's mixed with alcohol.
Yes, exactly.
All right, we need some help on these 9 races, love. So let's kick things off in race number 1, which begins the 50-cent early pick 5. When we're sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course. Also, I should note, early start to the $3 all turf pick 3 today. We only have 3 turf races, so the $3 all turf pick 3 starts in this very first race, and this first race is for Calbred 2-year-olds. The rails today are at 30 feet. We've got a field of 6. Number 4, Mr. Suds, is a first-time gelding. The morning line favorite was number 5, Going Mobile, but the one taking the action is number 3, Potita, from the Carla Gaines barn. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Zoe, we want to watch a recent workout for Going Mobile right here at Santa Anita, courtesy of our friends at xptv.com. It was on September 22nd, and of course, we haven't seen Going Mobile in the afternoon for quite some time. Why'd you want to show this workout to the viewers?
I just thought it was a very good one for Going Mobile, who breaks off inside. Now, Mr. Fabricator is behind him. He's an 0 for 2 maiden, but you're going to concentrate on the horse in front. And he was obviously just there to set the pace for Mr. Fabricator, who seems like he's just absolutely cruising along. Going Mobile, son of Stay Thirsty, he relocated out here to Southern California and is one of the leading turf sires. This one is out of a Warfront mare. Now, we're going to be running on the grass. That's Warfront all day long. And you can see the rider on the 5 Going Mobile just give a peek behind. Tiago Pereira is going to come up outside on Mr. Fabricator, and he's supposed to go and join him or go on by, but he can't. The rider down on the inside getting a little bit busy on Going Mobile, and this is where a bit of the turf breeding might come in. You can see that slightly higher action, which is indicative that this horse is going to find better footing when he runs on the grass. Nonetheless, finishes up very nicely and gallops out very nicely indeed. He's a first out winner going 4.5. That was last April right here at Santa Anita. Steve Knapp, he's going to get rolling soon. He's just 1 for 25 thus far. He does have 7 second place finishes, but I think stretching out and running on the turf today, Going Mobile may be the one to go. I was looking for a bit more of a price, but if Petito is the better price, I may go with him, because I thought he was pretty darn awesome breaking his maiden last time out. He's going to have to get a cagey rider under Rispoli, who won 3 races yesterday. This one owned and bred by Keith Brackpool. He's going to be up there on the lead. The rails are out at 30 feet. That ordinarily helps the pace, but yesterday we saw quite a few horses close with the rails.
Patty Gallagher and Umberto Rispoli in race number 5 from dead last, swept the field and circled wide and mowed them all down late.
Yes, so don't let that dissuade you. Don't just go speed all day long. You need to pick some closes as well, just in case.
5 and 3 in race number 1. Before we take a look at race number 2, Zoe, a question for you. We just watched a workout courtesy of our friends at xbtv.com. How much emphasis do you place on workouts in your handicap? And I know it's by a horse-by-horse basis and almost by a case-by-case basis, whether they're returning off the layoff or not. But if you had to put a percentage on the importance of handicapping workouts in your handicapping arsenal, is it like 80%, 10%? What is it?
It's probably 50-50, if I'm being honest. I like to see how horses are going. You can't tell a whole lot from a maintenance work, and especially we have no turf workouts here at Santa Anita. When we're filming works on the East Coast, Gulfstream Park and Saratoga, there are an awful lot of turf works out there. They even work on the poly track down at Gulfstream. So you can get a little bit more of a gauge of turf horses. Here we tend to work them on the training track. It's going to be fantastic once we get our 6 furlongs all-weather Topeka track in after Breeders' Cup, so looking forward to that. But I do take a lot of credence to it, especially horses coming off a layoff. I like to see for my own eyes. I know a lot of people rely on Andy Harrington, who is fantastic, and
Or Toby Terrell, or many others, Gary Young,
that do this. But for someone that comes into the track, it's not that I don't want to take their word for it. I want to see it for myself. I want to be wrong on my own eyes.
It's like watching race replays, right? Seeing is believing. You can see a race in the racing form or a workout line, but you actually want to see it because it's important how they're doing it, not how fast they're doing it.
Absolutely.
Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This time we're on the main track. 1 mile is the distance. $10,000 claimers, a field of 6. The favorite on the bottom from the Angela Aquino barn. Number 6, Mike Operator, 2-1 according to John White. How's this race according to Zoe Cadman?
I'm going to go 6-4 in here. I like Mike Operator on top for Angela Aquino. Now, a lot of you may not have heard of her. She trains predominantly over at Los Al. She was the one responsible for getting Diego Herrera up and going. She's basically like his aunt without actually being blood relations. She runs an awful lot of quarter horses over there. She's a grade 1 winning quarter horse trainer, very, very good horsewoman. And the fact that she brings this horse over for 10,000, just 1 for 8 at Los Alamitos, I think that's more of a lateral move here. He's going to take an awful lot of play, and he likes to win races. He is 12 for 46 lifetime and having a great year already.
And he likes this main track as well, Zoe. 8 starts over.
Nothing wrong with that.
4 wins, 6 times in the money as well. So he certainly has a nose for the wire. We also say he gave a little love to the runner right inside of him, number 5, Economical, stretching out from a sprint. What do you like about Economical?
You know, he's run some good numbers. If he can run that number 2 back where he did go a mile at Canterbury, I like to look at the thoroughgraph sheets as well. And he ran a 6, which is very, very good. If he can run that back, he's going to win.
Race number 3, we're going 1 mile on the main track for fillies and mares, $20,000 of the claiming tag. Again, a field of 6. Number 3, Whistler Style from the Vladimir Serin barn is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 3, Zoe.
I see it 2-5. I'll take Henny's Crazy Train on top for trainer John Sadler. Perfect 1-for-1 at the distance. We're going the distance of a mile here. I went back and looked at that race, and we saw the bug boy Torrealba win a very nice race. Yes, 2 races. Did he win 2?
Just 1.
Just 1,
but he is improving every race, every day. You can actually see it. Again, talking about seeing things for your own eyes, you can see the gradual improvement he's making on a day-to-day basis, and he's getting in good barns, including John Sadler.
And I don't care. I mean, it's nice to look pretty on a horse. That is nice, and he does look pretty on a horse. But you've got to have a bit of smarts and ride a good race, and that's what I'm seeing from him. Is he's starting to be a little bit smarter. He's starting to get the confidence to take horses back and actually ride a good race rather than just send horses to the lead.
More like a tactical rider as opposed to just being aggressive and taking advantage of your weight break.
Yeah, so I like Henny's Crazy Train in here. That is the 2, and then I'm also using the 5 in there. Penn Street, and I almost put Penn Street on top. A big confidence boost from Mark Latt, who's batting 400 right now. Claim this horse for 8,000 for the Saints or Sinner stable, best name ever, and Seahawk Racing. 1 by 5 and then ups to 20,000. If that's not a move of confidence, I don't know what is.
Speaking of confidence, Zoe, can horses feel when a barn is going good? You talked about Glatt batting 400% his barn, and obviously he's red hot right now, just like Peter Erden. As a jockey, as a trainer, when you're on the backside, can horses sense that confidence, and does that give them more confidence?
I don't know for a fact. I mean, when they're on your back, yes, you've got a jockey who's won 3 already today. Absolutely. Everything just goes easier. But even around the barn, you know, the trainers are whistling, all the grooms are happy, there's donuts in the barn. You know, life is good when you're winning. If you're not winning, you know, you're going to kick the dog, something like that. It's just not a good feel. You're playing bad music in the barn and things aren't going right. So it's a cyclical game. And that happens with stables. I don't care if you're a 5% trainer or a 25% trainer. Once you get hot, everything just seems to go your way.
Kind of like playing the horses. When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not.
Absolutely.
Let's try and get hot in race number 4. That's because it kicks off the $1 pick 6. No carryover. As I mentioned, 2 winning tickets yesterday, each worth $30,000. Congratulations to those skilled horse players. And we kick things off in race number 4, going 2 turns, 1 mile on the main track for $20,000. Again, a field of 6. Mark Glatt saddles the morning line favorite. On the bottom, number 6, Good Juju. Antonio Fresu looking to get some wins with Juan Hernandez not in the colony this weekend. What say you about race 4?
I'm going to try and beat him with Big Buzz. Now, I don't think I've got any major big prices today. Big Buzz is 4-1 on the morning line. And what I absolutely love from that race replay that I went and watched back was Alcigor, because at first I thought, It's the running line says took up 4 wide moves, circled the field. So I watched the race back, and it was almost like Al Segura did it on purpose. He'd broken the horse's mouth, and he's good out the gate. And then he angled him back to last. This horse doesn't like the dirt.
He did it strategically.
Absolutely. He angled him back to last. This horse has worn goggles. He's worn blinkers. He's worn just about everything. First time.
Our own Jessica Pfeiffer used to ride him and got to the winner's circle with him as well, using that same strategy.
Exactly. So first time front bandages for Big Buzz, but he managed to win with it. He circled the field and looked like he was a 3-year-old colt, not an 8-year-old gelding.
Those front reps were equine poker. Come on, Ron Ellis put those on there so he wouldn't lose the horse. And now look what he does. Bumps him all the way up to 20,000.
It's fantastic. And Al Segura rode a really, really good race on him. If you see Big Buzz in the paddock when he walks over, take a look at his head. Now, he's not wearing the blinkers. He's got literally Adam Kitcheman, who had him for a couple of starts. He's got a cup holder in the middle of his forehead. He had some kind of accident as a 2-year-old.
But it left an impression.
A dent, you could put your fist in it. And he's just a cool horse to look at. So I'm rooting for Big Buzz in here. And I'm also going to use him, obviously, with Mark Glatt on the bottom as well. Good juju, coming out of better races. I might have to box him if it's going to pay anything.
Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. This time again, we're sprinting on the turf course. 6.5 furlongs is the distance. It's for Calbred maiden special weights. 1 scratch. Scratch the 7. City of Angels. That means the also eligible number 9. Glorious Life does draw into the race. The morning line favorite from the Jeff Mullins barn. Number 4. Mana Rose, ridden by Edwin Maldonado. 5-2 on the morning line. Talk to us about race 5, Zoe.
Well, the most important thing about race 5 is that this race is named for King Louis Gaines. Carla Gaines'
You're absolutely right.
He passed away a week ago today, lived to the ripe old age of 14. We're going to have a winner's circle celebration. So if you're here, come down to the winner's circle. You're more than welcome.
He was a fixture at Clocker's Corner on the backside in the morning. He was just lovable.
Own Facebook page and everything. Cool. So I think Carla will have a little bit of Louis on her back, and she's going to win this race with Antibes for Carla Gaines. Go back and watch that replay. I think he probably should have won. I wish he had, because I loved him at 30-1 that day.
That's a bad beat.
Really did. Franco gets back aboard him today. He gets to go an extra half furlong. He's good. He's really, really good. I will use him with Mana Rose. He came out of that race as well, but he's speed, and I think he gets caught by Antibes. Watch out for On the Women there. I've used him in my Old Turf pick 3. He's a 3, first-time starter for Dean Peterson.
And you're not just a handicapper. You actually research horses' names. Antibes is actually a city in France. You're a world traveler. Have you ever been there?
I have not, but I'm sure his owner, Breeder, probably owns a mansion there. That's Keith Brackpool.
I think you're right. Let's take a look at race number 6. Begins the 50-cent late pick 4. Again, going 2 turns, this time on the main track for $35,000 claimers. Non-winners of 3 races. Lifetime a field of 5 after the scratch of number 1. Oh, great. The morning line favorite, number 4, Bright Leaf from the John Sadler barn. Here's the Bug Boy on his back as well. 2-1 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, so you want to watch a workout for Bright Leaf. This was on the morning of October 13th. What'd you see in this workout that we're going to show courtesy of our friends at xbtv.com?
Well, this is Bright Leaf in the morning, and he's working with is she a grade 1 winner now, Kirsten Bosch?
Yes, you're absolutely
She's
right.
A grade 1 winner. That's her on the outside, Bright Leaf on the inside. He's a good workhorse. I'm not sure I trust him in the afternoon. This is why I used him underneath, but I wanted to show this work. He gets Torrealba aboard him today, and he'll stay busy, gets in light with the weight off with 117 pounds. But you can see him working alongside Kirsten Bosch, who's on the outside. When they turn for home, you'll just see what a big, wide-chested filly Kirsten Bosch is. She'll go forward in the distaff for trainer John Sadler. On the inside, Bright Leaf more than holding his own there.
Very much so.
I mean, the first time anyone might remember this is when he dropped Emily Ellenwood, who was on her way to winning on him many, many starts ago.
In the shadows of the wire.
In the shadow, literally, he got spooked, jumped the shadow. Poor Emily fell off, got a concussion. But he's come back. He won 2 starts ago with Pratt on him. I don't trust him to single him. Do I think he's the best horse in the race? I do. However, I'm going to use the 2 Elevado for trainer Steve Miardi, who gets the blinkers off. Now, Steve Miardi, 26% with the blinkers off. And, you know, we see these trainers watch horses. Steve will be here. He'll watch horses. He'll watch races. He's very, very sharp and actually very funny if you have a good chance to chat.
Cagey is how I describe him. Very cagey.
Very cagey. So I'm going to guess that he's been watching this horse. And Mark Glatt's a very good trainer. It's hard to take a horse from Mark Glatt and improve. But the fact that he's upping this horse and trying something new, this horse has never run without blinkers. So why not? What's he got to lose?
You and I saw the same thing for that exact same reason, Zoe. I love when a trainer or connections take a horse and seem to have a plan. So they took this horse for 20, as you mentioned, off Glatt. What do? He's worn the blinkers all 10 of his career starts, and they immediately take the blinkers off. I completely agree with your assessment. Steve's in the paddock. He maybe noticed a nuance or a quirk, and he said, why not? Let's take a shot. And he must like what he bought because he's raising the horse up in class.
Raising the horse and taking an edge with the bug boy. So, and Steve Sharp, if it doesn't work, he'll drop this horse back to 20 and then be done. It's all good. So I'll take Elevado.
I asked Steve one time, why does he use Bug Boy so often? And he gave me a very honest answer. He said, they ride every race like it's the Kentucky Derby. In other words, if you get a Hall of Famer rider up and the horse breaks slow or something, they might give up. I'm not going to name any names, but you know who I'm talking about. But if you get a Bug Boy, they're aggressive, they're hungry, they want to win, they want to prove themselves on this very demanding circuit. And so it's an interesting strategy that Steve has. He spreads the wealth around to a lot of the different Bug Boys and Bug Girls.
Not going to punch you back either.
Well, not me. I don't know about you. Race number 7. We are going 1 mile on the turf course. This race is for Maine Special Weight Calbred 2-year-olds, a field of 9. On the bottom, number 9, Helen's Son is a first-time gelding drawn right inside of him. Nestuka, is that the correct pronunciation for Louis Mendez? I'm going to go with that and leave it up to
Nestuka?
Yeah, something like that. Leave that up to Frank Mirmani. Edwin Maldonado in the saddle. How'd you see race 7?
I'm going 6-5 with High King on top. I went back and watched a replay of High King. Now it says off slow, boxed in straight. Did I use the 6 on top? I think so. Yeah.
You use 6-5.
Yeah, 6-5. I watched the race, and this is the importance of watching replays. When I just looked at the running lines, I'm like, wow, that's obvious trouble. And then I went back and watched the race. He never really got boxed in. Torrealba never stopped riding. He didn't get the cleanest of paths, but was never really in trouble. So I'm going to use him on top just purely because they're stretching out, and I think he's going to want to stretch out in distance, and he galloped out very, very nicely in there. But I'm also going to use him with the 5, Light Dragon, who I may flip-flop. I might actually prefer Light Dragon. Blaine Wright is an excellent horseman.
Tremendous.
Very good trainer, 21%. This horse is by Kitten's Joy, out of RY Squadron, who was trained by Chad Brown, 3 lifetime starts, 2 of those coming at a mile on the grass.
Perfect 2 for 2 at that distance on the turf.
Perfect 2
according to my source.
Absolutely. Comes out of a live race. Next out winner was the 2nd place finisher, Haywood. The fact he brings his horse down, puts Tyler Bays, comes in with a 52 and 2 out of the gate. Who cares about that? That's fine. I like Light Dragon.
Another trainer with a plan, right?
Yes.
That's exactly what it looks like to me. Let me ask you a question, Zoe, about your top pick, number 6, High King. And we've seen this throughout the course of the card with these lightly raced horses. Handicappers like to think, professional handicappers, that the biggest improvement a horse has is from the career start number 1 to career start number 2. It's a generalization, but do you think the light bulb kind of goes off for most runners in career start number 2?
Yes. It can go on, or it could start flashing. You see a horse that's just hot and sweaty in the paddock, and the second start, they're like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? This is just awful. Or you get ones that just walk around and be like, I know what's going on.
I got this. Right?
I got this.
Yeah.
I've got this. So it's nice to watch them and take notes and see how they are in their first and their second start.
And we're also privileged where we're here on the set to see them schooling, generally speaking, the day before. So you kind of get a sneak preview. We talked about morning workouts being the dress rehearsals. You can actually see how they're schooling in front of a crowd in the afternoon for a lot of the babies that are going to run the next day.
Case in point, many moons ago, Beholder. Even when she was 6 years old, Mandela would bring her over a week before and school her. She won the Breeders' Cup when she was 2. She didn't need to keep schooling, but he did, and it was good for her. And she just got better and better because she was a high-energy filly.
Race number 8 resumes the popular $1 Golden Hour Pick 4. That's because Golden Gate Racing, our sister track up north, resumes racing today. So the Golden Hour Pick 4 is back in effect, linking our last 2 races here at San Anita with their last 2 races at Golden Gate. And we kick things off with the Enokia Stakes. We're sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track for 2-year-old fillies. A field of 5, Bob Baffert saddles the favorite. Number 3, Dua, going from a route to a sprint from a graded stakes race into a relatively minor stakes race. 6-5, according to John White. I'm trying to beat her. Before we find out if you're trying to beat her, let's watch the most recent workout for Dua. This was back on October 16th, going 4 furlongs and change. Why'd you want to show this workout, Zoe?
Just because she's much more relaxed in this work. Now, I did not like her going into the grade 2 Chandelier. 1, I think it was too fast, even though 2-5, even though she's by Arrogate out of a consolidator mare. And 2, she just got outworked by Muth, who was fantastic.
Pretty good horse.
Yeah, winning the boys version that day. So I like the fact that she's coming back in relatively quick time. You can see Bob's working her
Unusual
solo.
for Bob. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's unusual to bring him back this quickly.
It is, but not in this race. Bob's won this race 6 times, and each time he's won it, it's with a horse dropping out of a graded stakes, and it's usually dropping out of the Chandelier. So he wants to get her. She's stakes placed, graded stakes placed. She needs to win a stake. This is a good work for her. 6 furlongs is going to be absolutely no problem for her whatsoever. Love this work. Would I love her going longer? Probably not. Can she go longer down the line once she learns to relax? Most likely. Becky's Dream is the interesting one in here, and I really want to see what she looks like, because when she came over to break her maiden on the 27th of May, for then trainer Hector Palmer, his assistant has taken over now, Jose Valdez. She was about 800 pounds.
I can tell you exactly, 865 pounds.
I'm not kidding. 865 pounds. When she ran in the Fasig-Tipton debutante, she wasn't much heavier.
896 pounds.
Exactly, which is good. She didn't look much heavier. And she tried so hard. She had shins that day. She came out of the race
and lost to a nice
shins.
filly based up north.
Exactly. Grand Slam smile. So I want to see how she looks, if she's grown. She's by City Light out of a Colonel John mare. She's supposed to be a big, beautiful, good-looking filly. They did the right thing. They gave her some time. And if anyone can upset Dua, it'll be her.
Now we know that you like Dua, who's 6-5 on the morning line, likely to maybe go lower. At what point, from a gambling standpoint, do you draw the line, Zoe? You like her a lot. You think she's going to win. Baffert's dominated this race, but there's always that risk and reward question. So what price is kind of the target line for you as far as playing or not playing?
I'm not going to bet on her.
I understand.
It's just
I understand.
as simple as that. If I have to bet on a horse in that race, I am absolutely betting on the 5, Becky's Dream, after I've watched her walk over and see how she looks.
Fair enough. Let's take a look at the nightcap, Zoe. Race number 9 begins $5 Golden Hour daily double wagering. Similar concept last race here with the last race at Golden Gate. And we close it out with a very, very good and hopefully productive race. It's a maiden special weight going 6 furlongs in the main track for 2-year-olds. It's a field of 10. 3 of them are trained by Bob Baffert. 1, 2, and 6 are all trained by Mr. Baffert. The morning line favorite, here's another tough name to pronounce, Nisos from the Bob Baffert barn. Ridden by Kyle Frey. Kyle's 1 for 1 for the Baffert barn. Had a winner for Baffert last weekend. But before we get your actual selection, Zoe, let's watch a workout for the $1.3 million baby, the son of Into Mischief. Number 1, Urban Legend. This was just back on October 15th, just 6 days ago. Talk to us about this workout.
Now, this is him, 6:30 in the morning. He's on the outside of a horse called Pilot Commander. He's an unraced Justify. He was a $700,000 purchase at the OBS March sale, but we'll concentrate on the son of Into Mischief, who was $1.3 million. Now, Into Mischief was trained here by Dick Mandela.
Sure was.
Singing Kitty was trained here, broke her maiden in a very first start for trainer Steve Miardi. That's that KG Steve
Kind of
Miardi
all
again.
circles back together, doesn't it?
Drawn on the rail. Historically, Bob doesn't have a great record with maidens breaking from the rail, aka American Pharaoh, but just watch Urban Legend. He's on the outside here, and he's always going better than Pilot Commander, who's going to be a very nice horse indeed. And I just love the action. I love how fluid he is. He switches leads on cue. When one gets on horses, you know he's usually on the better one and is on the outside of them. So this horse is just absolutely cruising through the lane. Now he'll get ridden by Ramon Vasquez. So people are going to think, who do I bet? You know, Baffert's got 3. He's got Ramon on 1. He's got Carl Frey on Nisos, who they paid $550,000 for. I don't know.
And Mike Smith, British Isles.
And Mike Smith on British Isles, who unfortunately we don't have a work on XBTV for, another son of Justify. So I am going to land on the 1 Urban Legend and back him up with British Isles, the son of Justify, coming in with a bullet ring. And by the way, it's a half to 8 rings.
You're absolutely right. You did your homework, Zoe. It's always a pleasure having you. Thanks so much for your time and insight. Looking at the workout, you talked about how you love that horse's action. I love your action whenever you're my seminar guest. Thanks again so much. Best of luck today with all your selections.
Can't wait to start. Michelle, you just got here. Stay tuned.
If people only knew the real story.
If they did.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Have fun, make some money, and good luck.